The following podcast contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
The Showdown Podcast presents the Survivor Series with Corey Miller, Vic Miller, and Brad Scott. This week's episode, Kids. Welcome to the Showdown Podcast. It is another Survivor Series episode, and just in time for back to school, we have the movie Kids.
Yay.
This is the 1995 independent cult film starring Leo Fitzpatrick, Justin Pierce, Chloe Sevigny, and Rosario Dawson. And I am joined, as always, by Corey Miller. Say something.
I thought you were going to call me Casper.
Oh, shit. Corey Casper Miller and Vic Black Skateboard Guy Miller. Vic, how are you?
I'm doing well.
And
At least I have legs.
Yeah. Vic has legs, Miller. Maybe not, though, if that diabetes gets you. But
I'm trying to stay away from the diabetes.
stay away from the diabetes. So this is, again, we said the 1995 movie. Let's start with, let's get a little bit of background. And I think we all know what that means.
Is that what they call it these days? The background?
Is this the Brad Scott? Yeah.
And now, it's time for the Showdown Podcast history. All right. Vic, when was the first time you saw this film?
I honestly don't remember when I actually saw it. I remember it, but I think there was something that blocked it in my memory. I'm not sure what it was.
Okay.
I
Which is
want to say
understandable.
it was probably around. Oh man, it's rough to say. Like, I know I've seen it like maybe
30
twice.
seconds here.
I can't tell you. I really can't. I can't pull it.
Well, thanks for wasting 25 seconds of the masterpiece theme. Corey, what about you?
I think the first time I saw this was probably around the time it got released on video for the first time, which was probably around 90, maybe 96.
Yep, me too. Thanks, Vic. That's all the time we have for the Showdown Podcast history. Yeah, I saw it around the time it got released. I saw it on VHS. I remember that for the first time. I think I rented it from D-Rose Video.
I think I had to have seen it way after that because I know I saw it just like on like a cable channel. So it would have been like HBO or Cinemax probably. It was probably Cinemax.
And very controversial film as well. Corey, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It did struggle to hold on. I don't have the trivia pulled up, but from what I can remember reading earlier, is that they struggled.
Just talked about this less than 20 minutes ago. You were sitting on the couch while we were watching it, talking about this.
They struggled to get an NC-17 rating. Well, to get an R rating, they were because of some of the things that were in it. They were threatened to get an NC-17, and they actually had to cut the film down.
So did what we watched was the cut down version? Because to me, I didn't see a whole lot in there for an NC-17.
Well,
you?
We all know that the MPAA isn't. They're not
Consistent?
Very consistent, yeah.
Because I mean, what? Now, to be fair, I mean those girls did look kind of young.
Yeah.
To where you're almost like, did somebody break some
Cringing.
walls
Yeah.
filming this?
Yeah, it's like.
They're like, we need to see all of their IDs before we'll rate this.
It's like when I first watched it, I was Well, in 95, I was like 18 at that point. Actually, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, real talk here.
18, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, but anyhow, so it wasn't a big deal watching this.
How
Watching
many
it,
times have you turned 18 in 95?
yeah.
But
But watching it now, yeah, it's really weird to watch this movie.
yeah, because I mean, when I saw it, I was probably 14. Because it probably came out on video in like 96.
Yeah.
So that's probably when I saw it. Because like I said, me and I think a buddy of mine rented it with we had a whole a group sleepover. So it was a bunch of kids
Yeah.
watching it.
Was
We were
this a
like,
mixed?
"Oh,
Was this a
kids?"
mixed group of kids watching it?
Like boys and girls?
Yeah.
We were all fucking by the end of it, so no, it was not mixed. No, no, I don't. I mean, it may have been. It may have been one of those sleepovers where either someone's sister had a sleepover as well. I don't remember the details. I do remember watching it though, and just being like, "Holy fuck! I'm probably not supposed to be watching this movie."
There's a bunch of girls upstairs.
Yeah, but I do remember I don't know. Were your guys' parents real strict with you? This is the example I use, and I'm not saying this specifically, but just to give you an idea. This is the example I would use. I always remember the kid who couldn't watch The Simpsons when I was a kid, which to me was pretty harmless. Because I even read them, I'm like, wow, yeah, they don't want to hear what's in my Discman right now. That's that chronic. But they had the kid that couldn't watch The Simpsons. His parents were very strict.
Yeah.
Only really had Disney videos and family movies. Were you either
Mr.
of you
Rogers'
raised
Neighborhood
that way?
Before school.
I was raised that way. And I take that back. If we guess that this came out in 96, I was 20. So by the time it came out, I was already out of the house. So watching this, I didn't really have any kind of.
Now, so you said you were raised strict.
Oh yeah.
What were some of the things your friends would see that you were not allowed to?
It wasn't so much movies as it was the music. Straight Outta Compton, when that came out, I was 14, 15, around there. So, it's like we had that tape. I remember when that... I don't want to trail off too much from the movie, but when that came out, I know my cousin had it, and we got caught. We got caught listening to it, and it got taken away.
Got caught listening to it.
Yeah. But it was one of those where it's no parental advisory things, and it's if you're lucky, it wouldn't have the sticker on there. And
How old were you when you saw your first R-rated movie?
Oh, well, actually, I was much younger than that because I was with my uncle who.
Go on, give the little motherfucker a drink.
Yeah, yeah, it was one of those because he used to live, ironically, or they still do live in Franklin, and so.
Ironically, because I grew up in Franklin. No one else knows that, so they don't know the irony.
I was wondering where the irony was.
Yeah, because I grew up. I don't know why that's still even ironic.
Yeah,
because shocking that you who live 25 minutes away would have family that live there.
The morality between Perry Meridian School District and that school district, Franklin School District, is so much different.
What about you?
Me?
Were your parents strict?
Not at all. I was a latchkey kid. I watched whatever I wanted to, listen to whatever I wanted to.
I was kind of the same way. Yeah, I had I remember riding my bike down to the CD store to get.
I mean, I couldn't walk up and put Debbie Does Dallas in the.
Well,
in
no.
the thing, but,
why would you want to in front of your parents?
In front of your parents.
But I watched all the R-rated movies, and my mom was just never very strict on that because, she just always looked at it like it's my dumbass if I do something wrong. It is not something I saw. I got to be smarter than that. You got to be smarter to not go do the dumb shit you see.
Right.
And also too, they're on the weekends they'd go to bed early, so I'd still be up and I'm watching horror films at 10 or 11.
Did you have to watch the cable edited? Oh no! When you were they only had 3 channels. Excuse me.
Yeah. Sometimes I did, watching USA Up All Night when they'd have those type of movies. But it even still sometimes the
now let me ask,
Up All Night.
Now let me ask you this: Are you very strict in the content of what your daughter hears?
Not so much anymore.
Okay. How your daughter's what, like 12?
She's 14.
She's 14?
Tomorrow. in
Holy
an
cow.
hour and a half. As we're
Oh, holy!
recording.
Yeah. You know what? We'll have to sing "Happy Birthday" at the end. Oh, this is probably not a good place.
It's probably the worst episode.
yeah. Do you know what?
Listen to this episode
No,
and then listen to the
no,
end of it.
No, she won't listen to any of these episodes.
There's how strict he is.
So how old was she then when you started
It
being
has-
more lenient?
It hasn't been since recently. It's how she actually inadvertently walked downstairs while we were watching Game of Thrones.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, and I think that pretty much fucked her. she's like, that alone freaked her out. The one scene that she saw, which
Do you want me to make you feel better?
sure.
One of my daughter's favorite movies is the South Park Bigger, Longer.
Of course it is.
And I have the soundtrack. And when
Yeah.
it's just me and her in the car, we will play and sing Uncle Fucker together. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. That's actually, she wants us to do that as a Survivor Series episode.
Nice.
Yeah, and even we were watching Orange is the New Black, and she came down, and we're like, yeah, well, she'll be all right. There hasn't been anything bad. And then, of course, that episode happened to be an episode where there was
Some munching going on.
No,
Yeah.
it was a flashback scene, so
Yeah.
it wasn't that. It was like
Still,
and I'm like buried in my phone at this point. I'm like, just keep looking, don't pay attention. Maybe
I
she's,
watched
not
3 episodes. Every one of them had like a lesbian shower scene.
Yeah.
You kind of you didn't think you're maybe going around, landmines with that one?
Well, yeah, I know.
Vic, so what about you?
My kids were desensitized from the age of like 2.
Okay, good. That makes me
Like
feel a lot better.
I never shielded them from any of that stuff. They've watched horror movies with me when they were little. They watched everything. I think but like I said, for my kids, they asked questions about it. We explained it to them. Like if they were embarrassed about it, they didn't ask about it, and that was just the way it was. But I wasn't gonna, I didn't hide them from it. I think the weirdest thing was my son. We took him to see Jurassic Park, and everyone's staring at us like, "Why do you have this kid at Jurassic?"
Oh no,
Park?
my daughter went.
And I think it was the second one. The second one's the one at the beginning where the little girl gets eaten by
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dinosaurs,
yeah.
right? So we're sitting there. We take him to that. I don't remember how old he was, but he was still little. And he's sitting down there next to me. He's eating his popcorn, and the little girl starts getting attacked by the dinosaurs. He starts cracking up. He thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. These little dinosaurs are attacking this little girl, and he's like laughing. And I'm kind of looking around at the people, and they're all staring at me like, "What the fuck's wrong with your kid?"
Oh, my daughter would totally do that too. She went and watched the release, the Jurassic Park 3D. We went and watched that, and she's like 6, maybe, or 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's pretty desensitized too. I feel like both are good options. I
Yeah.
feel like you can be kind of conservative and keep them away from that, and that's fine. That's I'd say the more normal and approved parent. But I feel as long as you explain things,
Yeah.
it's when you just leave it up in the air for their
I
own
think that
imagination.
the biggest thing to it is like depending on which way you go. Like if you like with us, where we're like, we'll just watch it, and if you have a question, ask. But then if you want to keep them away from it, you are still going to end up having to have the same conversation. It's just going to happen later on in life, and and I just think that,
And that's kind of what I thought. Like I was like, man, I don't want her to be like exposed without me being there to answer a question if it's about certain things. So,
And for a long time, my kids were like, "Don't look, don't look."
But I think we all know as parents, there's no right or wrong. No. It's every kid's different. Yeah. So you raise them. But I was just interested. That is interesting how both of us were kind of raised desensitized early, and we kind of did the same thing with our kid. You had a little more shelter. And then even though you grew out of that shelter, you kind of held that with your daughter for as long as you could until George R.R. Martin and his parade of dicks traumatized your child.
The Iron Price.
it was more of the fact that of the denial that she was getting older. So that's why.
No, I know. I get it, man. I feel the same way sometimes where you just look at him and you're like, oh, fuck. You rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's get into...
I think we've been
Parents who are
avoiding.
doing-
It feels like we've been avoiding getting into the content
Well,
of this movie.
let's get into the content of it, and let's talk about parents doing a way shittier job than we have.
I don't
that's
think.
our
Did we
segue
see
right there.
an adult besides that one that was breastfeeding the kid?
Oh, the one, with her titty out.
Except for the 2 nurses that were in the.
Yeah.
We don't know if they were moms though. I'm talking about parents.
Well, I'm talking about adults
Yeah.
in general.
Well, I think the dude that they whooped his ass was an adult. But let's not give away the cart before the horse here. So the film opens pretty graphically. Like they kind of grab you by the balls from the beginning.
They're like, "Hey, this is about kids having sex."
Pretty much. And This is literally the Wikipedia first sentence of the plot. The film opens with Telly and a 12-year-old girl making out on a bed.
With no adults
With
around.
no adults around. That's the entire movie, folks. It's totally making out with
literally what it
12-year-olds. Telly is just one of the worst human beings ever in a movie, right?
I think so. Yeah,
He's
if we're going
just
film,
he
yes.
he is the slimiest character I've seen in a movie in a long time.
I mean, yeah, he really is just a shitty, horrible human
Yeah,
being.
yeah.
And that's what his big thing is. He literally starts off the movie by taking the virginity of a 12-year-old girl, and then immediately goes outside. Or actually, like, you get kind of an impression, just obviously from their dialogue, but right after that, him just spitting down the stairway of the apartment building, you just kind of get that sense. He's just a privileged teen or an entitled teen with no reason for it. He's not a rich kid
No, not at
by
all.
any means. And yeah, you guys, or who was it? Was it you that thought he was like the weird choice to be like the Mac Daddy?
Yeah. You know, you look at him and you're like, why is everybody so obsessed with him?
He's like a little
skinny,
little skinny bird
tall,
chest.
white,
weird,
really white.
weird mouth little kid but like
his
all
voice
these
is
little girls.
So,
annoying.
like I said, he's preying on 12 and 13.
all these little girls are falling for him.
He's an older kid.
Yeah.
And he seems to be kind of a leader of the other group of kids his own age, which are like 16, 17 years old.
Except for the one creepy 25-year-old Mexican that
Yes.
has the house that they all hang out in.
Yeah. But here's the thing, man. Like, you guys kept saying that. Like, I noticed through the movie, you kept being like what is going on with this and this? And in my head, I'm like, oh, I kind of grew up like this. Yeah, I knew that 25-year-old who had his own house and would have a lot of 16, 17-year-olds over with like alcohol and drugs and shit. Like, I knew those weirdos.
I know it makes sense.
No, but like I said, that's what I said. I wasn't, not to this extent. But I did. I mean, I ran around, and especially when I got to be, 17, 18, and, friends would have parties and stuff like that. It became like, those parties looked very familiar to me.
Yeah.
As far as just everybody together drinking, all underage kids together drinking in a house, and you just see people randomly making out. I was more like
kid that-
Casper pre-rape. I was just like the funny guy in the kitchen, or who would sleep in a bathtub with like a buddy of his to keep him company or something. Just that was more of me. I was always more of a hanger. But you'd literally just see people strung throughout a house, and especially that next morning when you guys were again like everybody's just laying like it's when you get really drunk and you're 17, you eventually just pass out somewhere, and usually it's just like they showed where like some girl's hands is like in some guys because they probably fell asleep during a hand job. Like, that shit happens. But that's basically all this movie is. It's the story of Telly trying to conquer another 13-year-old who is the sister of a mutual friend of all theirs. And it's kind of like if Dazed and Confused was in the 90s, right? Like, they're all just trying to get to this party, and it's kind of the story of their day getting to the party.
That's a shitty brother, too, by the way. That 13-year-old girl's brother. He knows how Telly is. He has to know Telly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's like, I wouldn't have let my sister go out with that dude.
and they all, they're all walking around, going to the park, and the other scenes that reminded me a lot of like that to me felt a lot realistic, and because again, this was written by a 19-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So the dialogue was very accurate,
Right.
and they've said there has been disputes as to whether it was a lot of improv, but he says it was, literally every single thing was scripted.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a very realistic portrayal of how kids talked back then.
Right.
I knew a lot of white guys who used the N-word back then in that, form of just the very gangster acting.
And it being based in New York too, like you had the communities, you still had that same community where literally you have a community full of white kids that literally acted like they were a community full of black kids. Mm-hmm. The same way.
And parallel to this story of them, kind of going throughout their day working towards the big party. It was at Steven's house or something.
Yeah.
Right. We also have Rosario Dawson and
Chloe Sevigny.
Chloe Sevigny, and they are traveling back to a clinic.
Yeah, they went to a clinic to try and get tested for
Well, I think that
STDs.
like one of the cooler things that he did do was he had two different situations. So he had the guys in one area, he had the girls in another, and they were having these dueling conversations at the beginning of it.
Oh, yeah,
I think that was
talking about
probably one of
sex.
that was probably one of the best like parts of the movie. Is there? He showed very much what a teenage guy's idea of sex is, and a teenage girl's idea of sex, and that back
Just
and
the
forth.
immaturity of it all.
Yeah, and like the guy would say one thing, and the girl's like, "That's bullshit. It's nothing like that." So you got this.
Oh, like the
cross-combination.
sucking dick.
Yeah.
They love to do it. They don't want to say it in
He's
front
like,
of
"It's
their
so
friends.
gross."
Yeah. And the one kid even mentions, kind of foreshadowing, like, fuck them, the diseases ain't real.
Yeah.
I ain't never known a motherfucker that died from AIDS. But speaking of which, so Rosario and Chloe go to the clinic, and they had previously gone a week beforehand and got tested, and it shows some flashbacks of them answering the questions. And we find out Rosario also through the, contrasting dialogue between guys and
Right.
girls. Rosario Dawson is a giant whore.
Yeah, she loves the sex.
Loves it in the ass. She's just a big whore and very smart, by the way, because you saw what they did there.
Yeah,
Chloe Sevigny had slept with one guy,
right.
our boy Telly,
Yep.
and that was it. One guy didn't use protection, and then Rosario Dawson had sex with, what'd she say, 8 or 9? She's like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And then they're like, how many were protected? I don't know. Like, I think
Like
3
4,
or 4. Yeah, she didn't have any of the answers. Yeah, I've done it in the ass 4 times. Yeah, a couple times with condoms, a couple times without. And then they get the results back, and guess who got AIDS?
Not her.
Who drew the short fucking straw?
Old Chloe.
Old Jenny from the hood.
Old Chloe got AIDS. So she leaves Ruby. Ruby was Rosario Dawson. That she leaves her because she feels she has to go tell Telly because he's the only person she had sex with. So now we know she has AIDS.
Right.
Telly has AIDS. And that 12-year-old we met in the opening sequence probably now has AIDS.
Is probably She has the AIDS, and now he's going after the 13-year-old who is short to soon to have AIDS.
But I mean, so when you think about it, it adds a very interesting dynamic through the film because you have Telly, who the entire movie is his journey to kill time through the day until the party at night where he can hopefully take the virginity of a 13-year-old.
Right.
And at the same time, Jenny, that would have been so great if that's how like the whatever clinic worker would have told Chloe Sevigny, because that's her character's name is Jenny. Jenny, you have AIDS. You got AIDS, Jenny. You got the AIDS, Jenny. But Jenny's whole journey through the movie is trying to warn and stop because she hears that he is interested in their friend's sister. So she's trying to find him and stop him. And it takes us to the park. Or first they go by Telly's house, where we see his mom breastfeeding and his best friend Casper's just looking at her
drooling.
mom's titty. Yeah.
He's like, "Hey kid, move over."
He actually says, "Man, your mama's titty looking good."
And his mom was not like attractive.
Not at all.
Which just goes to show you that these guys they're just really douchey.
Well, they were teenagers. I'm sure any titty would look good to them.
Yeah, that's true. So they go, they get money, right?
Yeah, they steal money from the mom's stash out of her.
Who
shoe.
didn't have shit. She had like a 5 and like 7 ones. And he's like, how much do you want?
They took like
Whatever.
They took like $22 from her.
And then then he goes out and asks her for money.
Yeah.
Like right afterwards. Telly. Hey, you think you got some? And she's like, don't have a penny to my name. And in his head, he's like, lying bitch.
Yeah, he's like, I just stole money from you,
you're
so I
right.
know you do.
He's like, you're right. You don't now. I just took it all.
And then they go and they kind of get into, childish mischief, like robbing a liquor store for 40s.
Well, don't forget Casper had broke open her tampon.
Oh yeah.
God.
And used it as...
After he shoved up his fucking nose to see what
and
it
then
does.
sticks it in his Kool-Aid and sucks out the Kool-Aid out of the tampon.
Comparing it to the girls Telly has sex with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty gross. And then they go steal a 40 from a convenience store, steal a piece of fruit.
Well, they did that before they got there, but throughout this entire show, they literally have multiple 40s on them at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know it was supposed to be further back in the day, but I still have a hard time believing that these kids are just walking down the street with 40s and nobody said a word to them the entire time.
Well, not my kid. I'm not gonna say anything.
And they then head to the park, where they
want to score some weed.
Yeah, and they got some weed, and then they have it's basically all of their friends. It's the whole gang.
Yep,
the whole gang's
the
there.
Whole skate
Black
posse.
skateboarder guy,
guy.
The Denny from Meet the Parents. The brother from Meet the Parents, and they have a blunt tutorial.
The hand grenade that was with them.
Yeah. Did anybody else? Did anybody else hear the Method Man or the Red Man How to Roll a Blunt song while he was doing that little thing?
Dude, he was lipping. He was lipping that thing while he was rolling it.
And like I said, and I told her, I think that's where I learned how to roll a blunt. Because that's that's another thing that just it kind of took me back to college because that's where I smoked a lot of blunts, and it was just a feeling of like getting the perfect split down the middle, because sometimes you fuck up. You got to be careful, and if it's not salvageable, it's a bitch. You have to open up a new one. So like getting the perfect split down the middle, getting it all out. Sometimes you'd get a little piece of tobacco you didn't see, and you'd lick it and get on your tongue. It was just nasty. But then the lighting it afterwards to dry the seal and stuff. It took me back.
I was going to say, you were reminiscing, weren't you?
I was. Hardcore.
And then you want to go out to the garage.
Yeah. I'll be right back. We're going to take a break now. We'll come back with the rest of this movie. But they roll the blunt. They then spot a homosexual couple, which could you imagine if this movie came out this year?
Oh, jeez.
And they're yelling those things at that gay couple. That would have been an NC-17 right there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not even so sure if that were set today, if that would even happen at this point, because I think it's so.
These kids are so much more progressive,
and they were just holding hands, but they were fine. They were totally fine with the girls making out in the pool.
Yeah.
But they then see Casper he bumps into a guy wearing a hockey jersey. For some
Black
reason,
man wearing a hockey jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's where this movie started to lose me in believability.
I really don't think it was actually a hockey jersey.
Yeah, it might have been like a FUBU.
I think it was just like a big FUBU.
And
because that's about as close as we got to hockey jerseys back then.
He bumps into Casper, and to give his credit, Casper tried to be polite.
Yeah.
He said, "My fault, my bad," and the guy's like, "Why don't you watch where you fucking skate?" And he's like, "Why don't you watch where you walk?" And they start having some words, and then black skateboarder dude just clocks him in the back of the head with a skateboard, and all 15 of them proceed to gang.
Yeah.
Gang,
punch him.
Gang. I don't want to say gang bang.
They start throwing bows on this dude.
They beat the shit out of him.
I just have a hard time believing that dude didn't have any friends that came to his aid.
I have a hard time believing that he didn't think that would happen with all of them around there.
He sees a little skinny white boy on a skateboard. He's probably not thinking it's going to be too bad. If he hadn't gotten hit over the back of the head with the other skateboard, he probably would have put a couple shots into Casper.
I saw something similar to this when I was in college. My second year at Vincennes. No, it was my first year. I'm sorry, my second semester, my first year at Vincennes. My friends and I were in a basketball tournament that was taking place on campus right outside of the gym, and it was probably 2 or 3 weeks after the basketball season had ended. So there was a team that had a bunch of the actual basketball players from the school,
right?
And there was this dispute as to who was supposed to play when. They ended up just kind of getting on the court and being like, "We're playing now." And this other team, it's just like 5 scrappy white guys, right? They decide that they're like, fuck it, we'll play whoever. So they're going to play them. If you could just tell that it's testy and they're having words back and forth. Then one of the first plays of the game, this white guy gets tangled up with this guy, pulls the ball away and kind of throws an elbow. Next thing you know, just 6 guys start beating the shit out of him on the court in a school-sanctioned tournament.
Yeah.
And they're just kicking him, and I'm right there on the out-of-bounds line because I think we were up next to play, and I'm just watching, and this guy it looked like a movie. He was, like, bouncing on the pavement, and, like, blood started coming out of his mouth, and when they walked away, I thought he was dead. And turned out to be, like, he was in critical condition for, like, a week.
Did you say, okay, I'm not done, or I'm not done, or I'm done, I'm not playing no more?
No, I was kind of like, well, let's get this blood up. There's a 9:00 tip-off schedule.
One less team to worry about.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Right, so,
hey, look who's
are
in
they
the semis. Sorry, were you going to top
Gift
my
horse,
look who's in
not
the
looking
semis
in
joke?
mouth.
Didn't think so. So they beat the shit out of Vic. And
That's not Vic. Vic comes later on.
I was the one that hit him with the skateboard.
yeah, Vic was the one because he's a black skateboard guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You forgot about the guy with the rollerblades that tried to pull a trick.
that
and fell.
was great.
That was
The
hilarious.
opening up scene.
And it was like
in
a
the
complete
background.
mistake. He's like, we're just going to leave that in.
Oh yeah. And then it ends, by the way, with, and this just again, it gives you an insight as to how horrible human beings these kids are. They both spit on the guy as he's laying there unconscious. They then go and pick up Darcy, who is the 13-year-old Telly is trying to sleep with, and they all go over to this pool. And
Well, we forgot about one scene when they were on the subway.
oh, that's on the way to Darcy's, isn't it?
I think that was before
That was
they
on the
went
way.
to the
That was
park.
on the way to. That was right after they stole the 40, and they were on
Either
the
way,
to the party.
it's probably the best scene in the whole movie, and it's because of one guy. That guy's so amazing. It's this weeble wobble.
Which literally he does weevil and wobble
And
and does not fall
is
down.
this small black guy with obviously he like there's one thing he has a lot of spunk, but he doesn't. He has no legs.
Yeah, it's no legs.
Very little rhythm.
Me and my friend Mark have literally said that to each other. Probably it's just something one of us will just start singing for no reason. I have no legs. I have no legs. God bless you.
I am seriously trying to figure out how this movie had a $1.5 million budget.
Like, what did they use it on?
Yes.
Equipment,
Equipment,
40s.
40s, soundtrack,
drugs,
and whatchamacallit? Probably just like to actually be able to shoot in New York.
Yeah.
That was probably $750,000. And then, so that was a great scene. Just the guy just wheeling himself up and down the subway. Which did you notice they gave him money?
You know,
Yeah.
it was probably scripted, but it looks like something that could have just been like they were filming on the train and the dude just got into it.
Maybe he's on that train.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Oh, hey, do you want to be in a movie?"
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm saying. It seemed like it was a natural thing. It didn't seem like it was like scripted
I like
so
to
much.
be in a movie.
I have a song already for
Where
it.
can I do the movie at? Because tell you what, if it's not on the subway, it's going to be hard for me to get there because
I have no legs. I have no legs. I have no legs.
oh shit, that's so funny. But that guy's great. That's probably gonna be something you'll hear a lot. Is just out of nowhere you might hear.
I have no legs.
Okay, so then we go back to where we left off.
Them at the pool.
Yes. So they get into they climb over the fence of the pool. They got 3 of the girls that another different 3 girls actually that they've been hanging that they found. And they climb over the fence. They decide they're going to go swimming. And the black skateboarder kid decides he's going to show off what he's packing downstairs. Since the girls are all envious of the guys' physiques, he shows them all off by dropping his drawers and slapping leg with it.
Slapping leg. That's how you know that's a black thing, because there's actually a term for it. And I had never heard of that term before. But Vic's like, oh, yeah, slapping leg. You know, when your giant cock just flaps up against your thigh. You don't do that you don't do that?
You guys don't do that? White people don't do that? I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was funny.
Mine just muffles against my balls.
His just turtles back. Come on out, little guy. It's okay.
What I thought was funny is that after all that, he puts his underwear back on and jumps in the pool instead of just leaving them off.
Along with his socks. He never took his socks off either.
It's like he's already exposed himself to everybody. He might as well just keep them on.
Well, the guys were like yanking the girls away from him. They're like, you're getting too interested there.
Yeah. They did. Denny. Yeah, Denny was like, get the fuck over here. Yeah. And he had the busted chick.
Yeah,
well,
they all did.
And which the black guy ended up with in the end of it.
Yeah. And
he ended up landing on the hand grenade.
And the whole time, Telly is creepily just trying to, talk Darcy into going to the party and everything else, which she agrees to because she's 13 and
unsupervised.
Unsupervised. So this whole time, Jenny's been trying to get. She gets to the park. She meets her friends, who tells her where he might be at the club. At the club, the NASA club. NASA. And so she goes there and runs into
her real life boyfriend and writer of the film, Harmony Korine.
Mm-hmm. Who actually they credit it as Avi, his brother.
Oh, okay.
Who then basically it's like a rave club. People just fucking everywhere.
Or as Vic called it, where the white people hung out in New York.
It was.
And there's like a guy having a foursome in just some hallway, and
there was actually like 6 people in that. There were 2 people on their knees on the floor.
Oh, okay, I didn't see them.
Yeah, I didn't see them either.
But he gives Jenny a
roofie.
What was it called? Special K.
Yeah.
No, he said it was better. It was stronger than Special K.
Oh, okay.
And it ends up being a depressant similar to Valium or Xanax. So basically, he gave her like a Xanny bar.
He roofied her ass.
Yeah. And so she's wandering around the club all fucked up, and
she finds out that they are at Steven's house.
At Steven's house, so she heads to the party,
which I can't believe she made it there.
Yeah, but it had already been going on. And it's just debauchery.
The 10-year-olds were all
10-year-olds were all drunk and high, and But again, it was a very realistic underage drinking party.
Yeah,
like
because they didn't have any. They didn't have any hard liquor. It was just a bunch of fucking 40s, like the cheapest alcohol they could find. That's what they all had.
Well, that's all the budget for the film could allow. So,
yeah, and they are just there's people just kind of fucking up the apartment.
Yep. Throwing up in the bathroom, wasted.
I want to know where any of their parents were.
That's what happens at an underage drinking party, Corey. There's no parents.
When did you go to one?
Last week. No, when I was a kid, no, there's never parents. I mean, occasionally you have like the one parents who have like the big ass house and they'll just stay in their room and they know that all the shit.
Or you have like my circle of friends. My buddy Mike, his mom would actually buy alcohol for us, and we were allowed to have it as long as we partied in their house and didn't go anywhere with it.
I know, and I've always been like, that's the dumbest like parent. Like, really? Oh no! As long as they're endangering their lives and in the other room, fucking
as long as we can control where it's happening at, we're all good.
It's like, well, yeah, like AIDS is going to be like, oh no, they're here. They're actually at their house. So they're just it's a bunch of craziness and.
Yeah, Steven's parents were away for the weekend, so he was having a party.
Mm-hmm. And Telly ends up getting Darcy into Steven's parents' bedroom, and
the scene literally mimics the first scene.
Yep, where he's sitting.
This kid has got a fucking like setup. He knows exactly what to do, exactly what position to put the chick in to get her ready to go, and yeah, he's a fucking slime ball.
The thing that scene and the scene in the beginning, and there was a couple other scenes of the making out. It just is. It goes on forever, and it's just almost nauseous.
I think it's. I mean, and as much as say like it's designed to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's
like they literally left it so long to make you uncomfortable with what was going on.
And
Because like even like scenes where they showed two kids kissing, they'd be like right up on their face, like it'd be an extreme close up, and you're like, I really don't want to see these kids' tongues like fighting each other. Like, please
Well, not
pull
only
back.
that, the sound effects were there too.
Yeah.
It's like
Like for a 19-year-old
yeah.
exactly.
No, not the sound.
Ever do that?
You making out with my microphone. Producer Molly Smith is not going to be happy about that. So as this is going on, as Telly is planting his flag, Jenny wanders her ass into the party all fucked up and sees him already in process, and it's just that to me that was one of the hardest scenes to watch.
Yeah.
And especially just when you hear her being like, it hurts, like, oh God, it's a child.
Right.
That's where I cringe probably the most.
Well, that and just the fact that she was so nonchalant about the fact she's like, fuck it. He screwed me over. He's going to screw her over. And she just turns and walks away. Like, she didn't even try to stop him or say anything.
Well, because
At that point, it's done.
yeah. Although,
come on.
still
think
gotta be
about
like,
it.
Just give he's got AIDS.
Yeah, like
you know?
something. Like, man, let her jump up and take her chances. Hope
Yeah.
she's got a 50-50 chance at that point. Once dude busts, he's over.
And then we pan around and it's morning. She goes and passes out on the couch. And then it pan around morning. Casper wakes up. And again,
I don't think it was really morning. I feel
think
like
that
it
was
was
a
like the
little bit
middle of
later.
the night. Like he just kind of woke up in the middle of the night because they were all still no one else had moved and everybody was still in the same positions.
They would still probably look like that at like 11 or 9 a.m., Vic. They were partying all night,
Well,
drinking and doing drugs.
I think after what he does, then it shows the outside and everybody. I think that was to
Okay, honestly,
show
the
that
time
was-
of the fucking day is not that important. So he wakes up, and now again, this was honestly me waking up a lot of mornings of parties. You just go grab a cigarette. I wasn't drinking warm, nasty beer, but I would look in the fridge, and if there was a cold, unopened beer in the fridge, I would drink it because that's a good way to get rid of a
Hair of the
hangover.
dog,
Yeah.
Hair of the dog, the bitch.
And again, this is where the comparisons to me and Casper end. Because he proceeds,
make this- yes.
let's make it perfectly clear. He proceeds to go into the living room where Jenny is, and realizes that she has passed out. And again, this is like a drug coma almost.
And he takes a couple passes to see if he can get by it though, because he was like kind of manhandling her a little bit first to see if she would respond, and when she didn't, he was like, "Up, all in now."
Yep, and then he just strips down her pants and starts banging her. And at one point,
And again, another scene that could have been cut short.
they do it on purpose, though. They want you to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And they succeeded, especially with that scene. They very much succeeded. Which, on top of that, like they literally showed like that was a full, like not a full nude scene. She still had her top on, but like they showed the lower portion of that chick's entire body.
Yeah.
Like because he pulled her underwear off and like pulled her feet up over her head and like ripped her underwear off, and then laid her legs down and like kind of leaned back.
This
so you could fully
is
see her.
what I imagine he was thinking when he started.
What's in the box?
AIDS. AIDS, Casper. AIDS
what's
is
in
in
the
the box.
What's in the box?
So he proceeds to sleep with her. Then we go to I thought that was a really cool scene where they like go around and I like the music that was playing where they're showing all like the homeless people and the junkies and stuff. And then we come back and we're just seeing all the, it's just
the chaos.
the chaos that had happened, all the kids laying there, and we point up to Casper, who's drinking liquor, and he just says, Jesus Christ, what happened?
I was going to say, I couldn't hear that.
And that's how the movie
And
ends.
Jenny's gone.
And Jenny's gone, yeah.
She is gone.
And that's how the movie ends.
She's fucking Typhoid Mary now. She's gonna make them all pay.
And that's how, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will come back and give our thoughts, and we'll decide whether Kids holds up or not. So stay tuned.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's commercial time. All right, Corey, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at NKOGonzo.
Vic, where can the people find you?
You can find me online at MillerKing51 on social media, as well as Black and Angry, that's BLAQ and Angry, on Xbox One and PC gaming.
All right, you can find me at BradScottComedy.com, links to social media, or just search at Brad Scott Comedy or Comedian Brad Scott on Facebook. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram at The Showdown Pod, and find us on Facebook, The Showdown Podcast. Click like, somebody should. Also, rate and review on whatever platform you listen on, and we're going to give away nostalgic prizes for everybody that rates or reviews. So give us a rating or a review, and you'll get a nostalgic prize.
And if you are listening on YouTube, please go over to Podomatic, Spreaker, Stitcher, or iTunes and subscribe to us.
Yes, please subscribe. So with all that, let's get back to the show and find out if Kids holds up.
Greetings from Tromaville. This is Lloyd Kaufman, president of Troma Entertainment and creator of The Toxic Avenger. And, folks, when we're not making those great Troma movies like Tromeo and Juliet and Return to Nukem High, Volume 1 and Volume 2, the Troma team and I like to kick back and listen to the best podcast in the world, The Showdown, because The Showdown is the most educational, the most emotional, and the most intelligent, and the most entertaining podcast in the entire world.
Welcome back to the Showdown Podcast. It is a Survivor Series episode, and we have taken time, deliberated, and we have figured out what our decisions will be regarding the 1995 cult film Kids. All right, so
Just leave the song playing.
just leave the song playing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Busta Rhymes, one of the early Busta Rhymes. So man, Tribe Called Quest is so great, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
We're,
What's your favorite
Q-Tip
Tribe
was
Called
a
Quest
man.
song?
Bonita Applebone.
For me, it's something off of Low End Theory, either Check the Rhyme, Scenario, maybe.
Scenario was really good.
Yeah,
Mine's a War Tour.
Scenarios.
that's a good song too.
Great song.
I love the whole album now.
Let's get to the.
That makes
the
you want to go
decision.
find that CD now.
If only you had a device that had access to almost any CD ever
I know. It's a,
that would fit in your hand, and maybe you could also call
Yeah,
people
but,
or check the news and
I
weather.
don't want to waste data, so no.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess. Vic, you're black. You got one of them. Oh, I fucked up.
he's on a prepay phone.
I know, but straight talk. That's what I was gonna say. Man, I fucked that up.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and you know what? I deserve. All right, so I'll start with me.
Okay.
It holds up for me. It cringed me out just as much watching it today as probably the last time I watched it was probably like 10 years ago, and just as much as the very first time I ever saw it. So I think it holds up. I think it's I've always said this. I think it's a movie they should show in every single middle school when kids are in like 7th, 8th grade.
Instead of little Bobby should learn to cover his penis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you show that shit, they're going to mock it and make
Yeah.
fun of it. You show this movie, it's going to entrap them into thinking like, oh, this is kind of a
So
cool
awesome.
movie. Oh, fuck, he just got AIDS. And everyone has AIDS.
Everyone has AIDS. There's another South Park song for you. Seriously? You just talked
I was
about
on the fence.
He was teetering. but
That
he
was
fell
the one where the
opposite
button
everywhere.
was. Yeah, you know what? You get that too.
All right.
All right, so Corey, or actually, let's go to Vic. No, let's go to Corey.
Okay.
Well then.
For me, I think I only may have seen it once or twice when it first came out, and I hadn't seen it since then. So it's been a long time since I've watched it. I don't remember what my feelings were the first time I saw it, or the second, whatever. But this, as somebody who has a daughter of this age, and I don't think that would even matter. It was damn creepy. It was just, I just felt weird at some points, and it was just.
And you were sitting right next to your wife while you were watching it.
Yeah. I think she was so weirded out that she couldn't even be on the. She didn't want to do the show. So.
Do you think she was weirded out because you own it?
Yeah, but guess who's the one that wanted it?
Her?
Yeah. This would not have been one that I bought.
So you kind of danced around it though. What's the decision?
I'm gonna as far as it holding up, I guess if you say that the whole point was for it to be creepy and to make and for you to think and be weirded out, then yeah, it holds up. It's still that point. But as far as a movie that I like, no, I don't like it.
So you still, we got a yes and a no out of this.
You
Jesus,
get two fucking answers. Get one answer.
Does it hold up in being creepy? Yes. There you go. That's what I said.
So we have a
But the movie, but the show I thought was like, does it hold up for you?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
God,
I'm still confused.
it doesn't hold up.
Okay.
It's 1-1.
It's 1-1. Okay.
Jesus. What would you like on your pizza, sir? Just cheese, but also pepperoni. But I only like plain.
However,
with,
I don't eat pork.
sausage
Can
and
you put
bacon.
sausage on it?
Well, I tell you what, I was not looking forward to watching this. I'll say that too.
So you went in negative
Kind of.
and
yeah.
stayed negative.
Yeah.
Bet Jenny's jealous.
Pacha.
Vic, hold on. Actually, hold on. All right, Vic.
For me, like I said, this movie was, I couldn't really remember where I first seen the movie or how I came across it. I do remember watching it. I don't remember being as creeped out as I was this time around about it. Like when you said, like, let's watch Kids, I was like, yeah, let's watch that. It sounds like a good idea. I'm not sure I still feel that way. Like it really was just, and I mean, as far as like from a movie standpoint, the guy who wrote it at 19 years old to write something that thought-provoking and really kind of creepily forcing you into like really seeing what's going on in with those kids, I think he did a great job. But as far as holding up for me, it does not.
Oh, shocking turn of events. I went to you third because I thought he was a for sure no, and I didn't know about you. So I'm the only one that gives it a hold up. But I know that that's the point of the movie.
Yeah,
and I like sometimes being creeped out, and I like cringing, and so it does not though. It does not go into our Hall of Fame. So all right, there you have it. It does not go into the Hall of Fame. Now, speaking of like creepy movies that make you cringe. What are some other movies you got? Like, what's the most cringeworthy movie you've watched?
I've seen a lot of cringeworthy movies, but the one that like I literally was like, "Holy shit, this is just too much," and then I was like I found myself just going, "I really wish I hadn't seen that." Was The Last House on the Left, where
the original or the remake?
The remake. I hadn't seen the original, but the remake. When that guy raped that girl and then was just like, I'm gonna control you, yada yada yada. Then he shoots her and she's like just trying to survive. Like I was that entire from the point where he first like attacks her to the point where she gets in the water and he ends up shooting her. I was just like, I was literally, this is exactly my expression. Like the entire time I'm watching, it was just like almost dead silent. Like what the fuck am I watching? And then I was like, okay, but then like it picks up again a little later in. But that was the first time I've watched a movie in a long time that actually gave me pause, like for an extended period of time. Like this is too much, So that's the one for me.
Well, for me, it actually is two films, and it's two films that I watched within probably a week of each other. I'm not going to say too much about the first one. It's the original Last House on the Left, which is much grimier and dirtier. And I've talked about this before.
It's just bad if that's real. I don't think I can watch that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you just feel really dirty when you get done. But then, like I watched after that, The Hills Have Eyes, the original.
Oh yeah,
and that too is just like, oh my god, it's just. You don't want to watch those back to back. A double feature of that, and hell, you want to make it a triple feature. I Spit on Your Grave. That's a triple feature you don't want to mess with because that is just nonstop. It's just dirty, disgusting, grimy. I mean, you name it, it's all there, and it's just I can't go back and rewatch those. But in their defense, they had that much of an effect on me that the first two, Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, both end up in my top 25 or 30 horror films. It's just, if they can have that kind of an effect on you, but still, I can't go back and rewatch them.
And for you, Brad?
You guys went a little different. You guys went horror. Mine is Requiem for a Dream. The first... Go ahead.
I don't know.
Would you?
I was just gonna make a joke about how you don't like double-ended dildos, but whatever.
What?
Just on the explanation.
You
alone.
knew I was going there, too.
So the first time I watched it was my second year of college at good old Vincennes. We were going out to party that night, and we were like pre-drinking and stuff. So we were pre-drinking and smoking weed in this kid's dorm room, and he put on that movie. And it's one of the first movies I remember that after I watched it, I just didn't feel right. Like just something just didn't feel right with the world. I felt weird. And then I was living with a girl probably 4 years later, and I had the movie on DVD because I did like the movie, even though it like kind of gave me that not
good
so that, feeling. Yeah, but I like but it's such a good movie. And so this girl that I was living with, it's probably like 2004 or so, she wants to watch it. It's like a Sunday afternoon, and I'm like, you don't want to watch that. And she's like, no, I want to see it. And I was like, you don't want... And she's like, I love Marlon Wayans. I was like, it's not like the Marlon Wayans you're thinking of.
It's not senseless.
Yeah, I kept telling her, and she's like, fine. And so I was like, you're not going to feel right. She's like, okay, whatever. So she puts it on. It's a Sunday afternoon. I fall asleep during the movie because I've seen it 100 times.
As a defense mechanism?
No, I guess maybe. But I've seen it 100 times, right? So I wake up just as the credits are starting to roll. I look over. She is sitting in like with her fetal knees position? Up and like an upright fetal position, just rocking back and forth, and she's just going, "You're right. I shouldn't have watched this. I don't feel right. Just something doesn't feel right." And I was like, "I told you. This movie fucks with your mind." And honestly, when I watched it the very first time, the thing that made it worse was like when I was in college. It was like 20 minutes after Requiem for a Dream ends. We still had like a couple hours before we were going out to like the parties and stuff. They put on fucking Clockwork Orange.
That's another one that's
the fucking the home invasion scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
walked out of the room. I was like, yep, I'm gonna go listen to some Incubus and some more pussy music.
Well, guess what? Next week's Survivor Series is Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, that was too much for me, especially because I had been drinking and smoking weed, and I didn't have nearly the tolerance I have today. So it was just like two ways.
So you didn't make it to the end where they've got his eyes pried open.
No. Literally after that home invasion scene, I was like, I'm good.
I'm done with this.
Yep. I was like, I'm going back to my room. I'm going to do some other shit until you guys are ready. And my other friend left too. He was just like, dude, I'm glad you left. He's like, because I want to get the fuck out of there. But like, Requiem for a Dream was a bad movie because I almost wanted to like get rid of my weed. Like, I see where this shit is going to lead. I'm going to get shot in the back of a limo.
It's going to lead me to crack.
Oh, shit. You got a white driver. What?
It says it's a shocking and eye-opening, but demands to be seen by addicts and non-addicts alike.
What, Requiem for a Dream?
Yeah.
I mean, just that and the part
I've never seen it, so...
You've never seen it?
Oh. No.
Oh, then you really didn't get Corey's awful double-ended dildo joke.
No, that's why I was like, what?
But it is definitely probably the movie that has given me the most uneasy feeling ever.
And I've only seen the movie once, but that's the only thing I remember from it. And it's also the...
We know you have
joke.
selective.
Yeah. Well, I decided we'd look to see what would Jesus watch with this movie.
And now it's time for What Would Jesus Watch? Presented by the Showdown Podcast.
That was beautiful. Okay, their summary isn't as good as we had hoped, but their content, the way that they present the content in here, is very funny. So I'll go ahead and say that. It says it's a pagan worldview extolling nihilism, void of any moral or religious perspectives. Hint of lesbianism. Hint? Those chicks were full on making out.
There were several scenes of chicks making out.
Yeah, hint of lesbianism with two young girls kissing. That's not just a hint. Non-stop obscenities, 165 of them. Vulgarities, 32. What's the difference?
Obscenities would probably be curse words.
And then
vulgarities would be like sex talk.
Well, that or like grabbing your crotch, shit like that.
Okay.
That's considered vulgar.
Okay, then they also have 4 profanities.
Well, that you got me there.
Yeah. 3 acts of violence: gang beating of man with skateboards, kicking cat, and harassing grocer. Graphic and explicit sexual situations throughout, including intercourse. 3 tongue kissing, group sex, orgies, rape, unprotected sex leading to HIV infections, children openly discussing loss of virginity, oral sex, boy masturbating, what? And minor exposed to sexual situations, full nudity of boy and girl, boy pulling off girls' pants and underwear, and boys and girls in underwear, extensive alcohol abuse by children, including minors, drunkenness, and rampant drug use, also involving minors, smoking pot, breathing nitrous oxide. I did that once. I mean, I didn't. Taking pills, kids doing drugs and doing drug deals, smoking cigarettes, and mother smoking while breastfeeding baby. Was she smoking?
Yep.
I don't think she was smoking while.
Oh, yes, she was.
Oh, was she?
She had that cigarette hanging off her lip while that baby was on
like
her
an
tit.
old black mechanic?
She looked like Samuel L. Jackson in Jurassic Park. Just hanging there while he was talking.
Hold on to your butts.
Also, children stealing, turnstile jumping. Ooh, we gotta make sure we get that in there. Breaking into public pool and at night, urinating on street, spitting in house, and on assaulted man, and boy putting tampon in nose and sucking it.
Well, way to close. You were getting pretty lame there. Like you can't follow all the sex stuff with jumping turnstiles.
Yeah.
Illegally entering a pool.
I knew you'd like that.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Showdown Podcast. We really appreciate it.
I'm going to overlook the fact this isn't in the movie.
What?
I'm going to overlook the fact that this isn't in the movie.
No, we talked about it.
I know.
So yeah, there wasn't really much options left.
Yeah, there was. I think there was a few others, but it doesn't matter.
So yeah,
Very stickler.
There's a Beastie Boys song.
Oh yeah, there was. But anyway, I love this song. I think the listener loves this song too. So good for them. Thank you for listening. This has been the Showdown Podcast. We talked about the 1995 hit Kids. Leave us a review of your own. On iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic, Spreaker. Tweet at us. Give us some comments on Facebook. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Let us know if there's anything, any movies you would like to hear us do. So if you have a movie you'd like to hear us talk about and look back on and give our opinion as to whether it holds up or not, let us know at the Showdown Pod or the Showdown Podcast on Facebook, or email us at the showdownpodcast at gmail.com. For Corey Miller. For Vic Miller.
Yep.
I'm Brad Scott. This has been the Showdown Podcast.
I learned how to build bikes in my workshop class. So give me the sword and let's not make it the last.